Put God first, and that will make everything last. Hello, happy Sunday. Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Rosaries with Father Pat, July 2nd, 2023. Yeah, it looks like I went a little crazy on my rosaries this morning. Um, when you move, you really begin to wonder if you're like a hoarder when you see how much stuff you really do have. And probably one of the best ways to manage all of your stuff is to get rid of as much of it as you can. Rosaries I give away, but the special ones, no, they're not going anywhere. And yes, I came across the set that I was given on my Holy Communion. Oh my gosh, that's like, wow, 45, 46 years ago? Still have them. And I always have these rosary rings. These are nice. Compact, can go with you anywhere. So if you want to pray the rosary, you don't have the 5 mysteries as you do on a full-size rosary. You have one mystery. Okay, your Hail Marys and your Our Father. And all you do is you go around it 5 times. Put it in your shirt pocket. Your purse, your wallet goes with you anywhere. And as I was putting my bag back together, unpacking from the wedding I did a couple weeks ago, I was looking at some of the rosaries that I bless. And these are interesting too because I believe that these whitish colored ones that I have been blessing, apparently they glow in the dark. How about that? Faith lighting your darkest hour. Always nice to have. So, yes, I collect a lot of them. A lot of rosaries. They're nice to have. They're nice to give out. And they're nice to hold in your hand and pray with in the good times and especially the bad. But let's take a look at the gospel for today. It sounds a bit harsh, doesn't it? I mean, put God before your spouse. Put God before your children. Put God even before your friends. Put God first. Well, then what about your spouse? What about your children? What about your friends? Does that mean we're supposed to neglect them? No. Putting God first will make you a better spouse, a better parent, and a better friend. Really? Well, think about this. You can have a marriage and a very good one. You can be very happy with each other. And you could be infatuated with all the wonderful things that this world has to offer. Nice houses, expensive cars, vacations, jewelry, fancy clothes. That can be part of your marriage. A marriage can also be pretty much all physical and not spiritual. And you could think that that is a wonderful marriage to have, and some people are happy for many, many years with that type of an arrangement. But what happens if somebody loses their job, becomes sick? What happens to the money from that job? You don't have it anymore. If you base a marriage mostly on a physical element, wait 20 or 30 years. Appearances change. I looked at my pictures from 20, 30, 40 years ago. Well, that's different. I kind of like to think I was always ugly, but, more so now. Your appearances change over time. So, but you put God first, and you put faith and spirituality first. Your love of God, your love of his teachings, your love of the following of Jesus Christ. your marriage becomes something different. Becomes spiritual, becomes a love far deeper than a physical relationship or a love of common interests. Okay, you put God first, that marriage becomes better. Well, what about, children? Okay, put God before your children? Yes. There are a lot of parents out there that, they have their children, they love them. Maybe they want to give everything to their children. Clothes, sneakers, phones, video games. Give them everything they want. Because they believe that makes them a good parent. And how they're so proud of their children because, maybe they excel in school. Straight A student. I am so proud of my honor student. Or they excel in sports. Or they get a scholarship because of their athletic ability. And you can be very happy for a very long time. Again, what happens to the relationship with that child when you're working all the time to give them those things that they want? And what happens if you're not able to give them all those things anymore? What happens to that relationship? Think also about, that straight A student, that athlete. What happens if, they don't perform at that level anymore? Injuries. Things happen. And what happens if you have a child that's born differently abled? Put God first. You will love those children always. You will be proud of them, even if they're not the star athlete, the scholar. You will love them, even if they're born differently abled. Okay? Your relationship will go so much deeper when you put God first. Now, in today's gospel, we're also talking about, what about those people around you? Give a cup of water to a little girl who is a follower, who is a Christian. And even this small gesture will be seen in the eyes of God and will be looked on quite favorably. Okay. God appreciates even the smallest gestures. Well, does that mean you're going to go out and if you see a little child that is thirsty, are you going to ask them if they're a Christian first before you help them? No. Okay? God loves all his creations. He loves all the people of the earth. Help that person. God sees it. And I will use a phrase. This goes out to my good friend Gene. When talking about helping people, shoot first, ask questions later. Now, I know there may be people out there that are not fond of guns, and this is just a metaphor. Act first, and then find out the details later. Well, I want to help all the followers of God, all the disciples of Christ. But you know what? Help the person first. Give them what they need. If they're not Christian, God will still look favorably upon it. Okay? You don't know if they're Christian? Help them out anyway. It's a very, very good thing. Now, I wanted to take a perspective, a little bit of a different perspective here today. And I want to talk about not so much you as the person that helps others, that performs good works in the name of God, that performs works that will be seen. I want to talk to you about being a person who's received help from others. And I will tell you, it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. From sometimes a person holding open a door as I go in a building, maybe I'm carrying things, or pushing that cart through, or letting that person have the that person letting me have the parking space, the person that lets me pass ahead of them in a line. Those acts of kindness, however small, go a very long way to reinforcing and reinvigorating my faith, any person's faith in God. Now, I will tell you, today's homily is going up just a little bit later than usual. I'm putting it up in the afternoon. Those of you that follow me on social media notice that I put up a lot of posts dealing with fibromyalgia. It's one of my disabilities. There are days when I feel like I can get up out of bed and I can do so much, and I can change the world. And then there are those days when it's a struggle to get yourself out of bed. I'm truly blessed. I have a lot of good friends. Friends who put God first in their life. And that makes them better friends. Makes them better friends to me. Because they're not just the kind of friends that share common interests. They are not just the kind of friends that are with you when things are going well. They are the kind of friends that are there for you when things aren't exactly going great. The friends that say, "What can I do to help you?" Or the friends that will be there just to sit with you and just to share their time with you and just make you feel so much better. You know, these times when I receive help from others, when I benefit from their kindness, I have to admit, makes me go a long way further in my faith in God. When I see somebody performing an act of kindness to me, however small, I see God in them. And I truly believe that God will remember even their smallest act of kindness and weigh it heavily against any sins they may have committed. So, put God first. Always. And it will make you a better spouse, parent, friend, make you just a better person. Okay? And yes, as always, when you're helping others, shoot first, ask questions later. Yes, we help others who are believers. But you know what? Help them first. Worry about their faith later on. We are all God's creations. So for today, Sunday, July 2nd, 2023, this is Father Pat with Coffee and Rosaries. Now, as always, love one another as God loves you.